Every company will generate transactions like invoice, payment, expense, and these transactions need to be mapped to respective accounts. To help with this, the Accounting and Bookkeeping module has a feature that allows users to manually map transactions, but a company can have multiple transactions at a time or in a day, and quite time-consuming to manually map each transaction. So the Mapping Setup menu is an important part that can help in this case. It can help you to automatically map transactions to pre-specified accounts. In this video, I will introduce the Mapping Setup and how transactions will be mapped. Mapping Setup is used to set up automatic mapping for invoice, payment, credit note, expense, tax, payslip like total insurance, income tax pay and net pay, purchase transactions like purchase order, purchase invoice, purchase payment, purchase order return and refund, inventory transactions like inventory receiving voucher, inventory delivery voucher, loss and adjustment and opening stock, manufacturing order like material cost and labor cost, omni sales like order return and refund, fixed equipment like such as maintenance costs, depreciation costs, and purchase costs of fixed equipment. In case the system has many unmapped transactions, enabling automatic mapping at the Mapping Setup screen makes it possible to map a series of transactions to accounting accounts. First, for invoice, in order for it to be automatically mapped to accounting accounts, you first need to enable automatic mapping of invoice, then select the two necessary accounts at payment account and deposit to. We do the same for payment, credit note, expense and tax default. When you're done, select Save. Next, Item Mapping Setup is used to set up automapping for some special items in the invoice. To create an item mapping setup, select Add. Select an item that you consider special and need mapping to other accounts, besides invoice default for all item mapping. Select an account in the Income Account field so that when the invoice contains this item, the value of this item will map to the income account. When you're done, select Save. Next, the payment mode mapping is used to set up automapping for some special payment methods. The first thing is to enable payment mode mapping. It will affect when creating payments from invoice, expense and credit note refund. At Sales section, select the accounts to map when payments recorded from invoice. At Expenses section, select the accounts to map when we create expense and choose payment method. At Credit Note Refund, select accounts to map credit note refund. When you're done, select Save. Next, the expense category mapping is set up automatic mapping for some special expense categories. Expenses relate to the special expense category will be mapped to this configuration. First, we have to enable expense category mapping. To create an expense category mapping, select Add. Select an expense category. Select an account in the payment account and deposit to fields to map for this expense category. If preferred, the payment method is disabled. The expense will be mapped to the expense category. If preferred, the payment method is enabled. The expense mapping will be prioritized by payment mode. We can choose multiple payment methods for one expense category, or remove the payment method from expense category mapping setup. Next, tax mapping setup is used to set up automatic mapping for special taxes. The special taxes of invoices and expenses will map to this configuration. Select a tax. Select the account in the payment account and deposit to fields to map this tax in the invoicee. And select the account in the payment account and deposit to fields to map this tax in expense. When you're done, select Save. For payslip, purchase, inventory, manufacturing, omni sales and fixed equipment, we also do the same so that the system automatically maps these generated transactions and we can also map multiple transactions at the same time. When you're done, select Save. To map transactions, select the Transactions menu. The Sales menu is used to map transactions such as payment and invoice from the Sales module, Sales Order Return and Sales Return from the Omni Sales module. The Expenses menu is used to map transactions from the Expenses module. Payslip menu is used to map payroll information from HR payroll modules such as total insurance, income tax pay, and net pay. Values of total insurance, income tax pay and net pay only visible in the mapping pop-up when the payslip is closed. Payslips that have a payslip opening status or have never been closed, the value of total insurance, income tax pay and net pay is 0. The purchase menu is used to map transactions such as purchase order, purchase invoice, purchase payment, order return, and refund. For Purchase Orders tab, the system only displays those purchase orders that are approved. For purchase orders, this screen shows the entire purchase invoice, but we cannot take into account the purchase invoices generated from the purchase order. For Purchase Payment tab, this screen displays all approved purchase payments. The Order Return Transactions page only shows purchase order return with a finish status. This screen shows the purchase refunds and maps them to the account. The Inventory menu is used to map transactions such as Inventory Receiving Voucher, Inventory Delivery Voucher, Loss and Adjustment, and Opening Stock. The Inventory Receiving Voucher tab shows the vouchers that have been approved and we can map them to the account. The Inventory Delivery Voucher tab shows the vouchers that have been approved and we can map them to the account. At the Loss and Adjustment tab, show vouchers of the adjustment increase and loss types that have been approved. The system will not automatically map the opening stocks. The automatic mapping setup of the opening stock will support us to map a series of transactions in this screen. Opening stock will be mapped on the first day of the fiscal year. Manufacturing menu is used to map manufacturing order costs such as material cost and labor cost. The manufacturing order transaction page only shows manufacturing orders with a status of done. And finally, the Fixed Equipment menu is used to map the purchase costs of assets, licenses, components, consumables, maintenance costs, and depreciation costs per month. In this video, I will show you how to map payment to an accounting account. First, in order for the system to automatically map payments, we need to enable automatic mapping for payments. Go to Mapping Setup, select the General tab, enable Automatic Payment, then select the account in the field Payment Account and Deposit to. When you're done, select Save. Next, we need to create payments. Go to Sales module, select Invoices menu, select an invoice to pay and click Payment, enter the amount to be paid, select a payment date. The transaction will map to the account according to this day. Finally, select the payment method and click Save. Go back to the Transactions menu, reload the Payment tab. The payment we just created has been mapped to the account. Click Edit to view mapping details. If this payment has a different currency than the system's default currency, the conversion rate will be displayed, allowing us to edit the mapping value again. I will first show you the mapping of this transaction in the report before I change the conversion rate. This payment is mapping to the account with a value of $227.96. Next, I will edit this conversion rate from 1.0855 to 1.09, then press Confirm. And finally click Save. Go back to the report, press Filter to reload the page. The value mapped to the account of this payment has been changed. We can also change the mapping account for the transactions being mapped by clicking Edit. Update the account in the Payment Account and Deposit to fields. Then press Save. Press Filter to reload the page. Account mapping has been changed. We can also delete the mapping of transactions being mapped by clicking Delete. Click OK to confirm. As you can see, this transaction has been demapped and does not show up in the report. If the system has many unmapped transactions, we can map batches of transactions at once. To do this, first make sure that automatic mapping of payment is enabled. Select the account to which the transaction will map. Then click Save. Go back to the Transactions menu. Select the transactions to map. Then select Bulk Actions. Then select Mass Mapping. And finally click Confirm. Click OK to perform this action. Transactions have been mapped successfully. We can also bulk delete the mapping transactions by selecting the transactions to delete, and select Delete Mass Mapping. We have successfully cleared the mapping. Other transactions also perform the same payment.